This is a story about two paintings and two buildings. The first painting is of the first building. It's a painting I did of the Bradford Alhambra, the theatre where I saw my first pantomime when I was 7 and decided to become an actor there in the gallery. And I looked down at the golden light and thought, that's what I want to be. And so the theatre looked like this in the 1940s and 50s, a hangover from the war when it was camouflaged brown, chocolate brown, because it's really white terracotta, a beacon in the town. I never knew it like that until much later. The man in front of the theatre is my brother, Bill, because when he was a young man, I painted this when he was old, of course, he was on point duty, often to be seen. He looks rather graceful, doesn't he? Like a conductor. In fact, he probably did conduct the records that he brought home. I can see him in his uniform now, listening to classical music on our wind-up gramophone, and I listened too, and got my early musical education from him more than anybody. And my art education from Mr. Green, whose painting, that is there. That's the second painting. Mr. Green, my art master, painted in 1988, and in 1989 I bought it from him. When I was visiting the theatre, the white terracotta theatre, and playing a leading part there. I hadn't seen him since 1952-3 when I'd left. So that's an extraordinary meeting. And the other building, which I don't have a picture of, that features in this story, is his art room at Grange Grammar School. I remember it so well. It had a big north light, a proper artist's light, followed the line of the roof and came down, very big. And we did an open air, or a sort of sooty air, study on the tip. This was a sort of muddy playground and building site above the level of the school, as you can possibly see. And there Mr. Green is trying to encourage me to do cross-hatching, and he's done some rather fine work. You can see my crude attempts. My daubs on the floor. But I think I do the perspective of the hut quite well. Andre Frank Robertson and Company are still working. Well, that was what our school looked like from the tip when they were building extra classrooms. But it was the art room that Mr. Green presided over. And that's really what the story is about. He knew who I'd become, but I'd forgot the young, outstanding pupil I had been. I thought perhaps he would forget me not, for I, of course, remembered Mr. Green. I sought him out and bought a picture. Years had passed since I had left his tutelage, left painting, hoped for heady premieres, and worked towards promoting Edward Petherbridge from under dark obscurity's penumbra. 37 years on, I trod the stage, where first stage had struck me, the Alhambra. But all this was way back, another age. I played Molière's Alceste, that tragic fool, remembering the art at my old school. The windows, like the set for La Bohème, soared and let in Bradford's own north light, Mr. Green's domain, his diadem a dark grey overall. He tall and slight, monochrome. The school, bog standard grammar, but in the art room, colour and release, paper, paint and brushes to enamor imagination, colour and caprice. For Mr. Green, a rhyming paean of phrase, our acquaintance was but short and understated. Would he be surprised to see me gaze so long upon his work without being sated? His river ever flows, whilst never moving. His autumn leaves have turned, but do not fall. The scene is set in no need of improving. I see it every day. It does not pall. Pragmatic patchwork, perfect imperfection. My mother is a spirit, haunts this wood. Good reason, too, to hold it in affection. When she was years away from motherhood, convinced that in its sunlight saw a fairy, for a fleeting moment was beguiled. This artifact itself illusionary. I, from the fact and fiction, here exiled, possess, in spite of time, this pigment's token, and sense a magic thread remains unbroken.